Okay, be honest with yourself for a sec. How many times have you looked at your calendar like, ugh, another meeting? Is this one really necessary?
You're definitely not alone if you're nodding along with that.
Yeah, it's like the modern workplace kryptonite.
It is.
Totally. So today we are diving right into this epidemic, and Suram calls it chronic meetingitis.
I love that. And you know what? It's not just a funny name.
Right.
This is a real thing that trains your time, your energy, and at the end of the day, your success.
And to help us navigate this productivity minefield, we are turning to Suram's office epidemics. You sent me some excerpts, and wow, it's like he's been spying on my work life.
Oh, absolutely. Suram's really good at that.
Yeah.
He's got this way of capturing those like universal workplace experiences,
Yeah.
you know. And he introduces us to this character, Anil, who is basically like the poster child for meeting hopping.
Oh, Anil.
Yeah.
Everyone knows an Anil. You're finally getting somewhere, about to do actual work, and bam,
Yeah.
another meeting invite.
And Suram highlights that feeling of always being like on as a red flag. Right. Always rushing, but never really making progress.
It's like that saying, meetings, where minutes are kept and hours are lost. But honestly, it feels like we're losing days sometime.
Totally. And the book dives into the ripple effects this has on teams and organizations. It's not just you, right?
Right. I was so interested in what he said about newer team members. Like, imagine starting a new job. You're so eager to prove yourself, and then you're just stuck in endless meetings, completely lost.
Oh, totally.
Not a good feeling.
And for the person calling all those meetings, they might not even realize the negative impact it has on the team, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
That's where I think Suram's self-assessment comes in, which is so insightful.
It is.
It's not just, do you like meetings? It's deeper than that.
It makes you think about your habits on a deeper level. How you plan meetings, how you act in them, even how you feel after. It's all about self-awareness. You can't fix a problem if you don't know you have it.
It's so true. It's like you're forced to confront your calendar, right?
Yeah. And then what's cool is Suram doesn't leave you hanging after that. He gives you this roadmap for, get this, meeting hygiene.
Meeting hygiene. I love it.
Right. I'd never thought I'd say I'm excited about meeting hygiene, but here we are.
But it's so true. It's not about banning meetings. It's about making them, work.
Exactly. They're a tool, not like the enemy. Suram talks about prioritizing your time and energy. What are the meetings where you really need to be there?
And if they don't make the cut?
You have to be prepared to decline.
Okay. I'm always so bad at that. What do you even say?
Oh, Suram gives you actual scripts, which I love. It's like, hey, thanks for thinking of me, but I'm really swamped with this project right now. Maybe I could send over some notes instead.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Way better than, I don't know, whatever I usually say.
It's respectful, but you're setting boundaries.
Yes.
And then when you do need to schedule a meeting, that's where the time framework comes in.
Right. We talked about that.
Target the objective. Include only key participants, manage time effectively, and end with action steps.
Okay, let's break that down a little bit. So you're about to head into a meeting. What's the first thing you should be thinking about?
Okay, so that's the T. Target the objective. Before you even think about sending that invite, you have to ask yourself, what's the point? What's the one thing we need to decide or accomplish?
So no more quick chat or touch base meeting titles?
No, Suram says those are the worst.
Oh, I'm guilty of that.
Be specific. Write it at the top of the agenda and share it beforehand.
That's good advice. Everyone shows up knowing what's up.
Exactly. Expectations are clear. Then the I, include only key participants. Think about it. It's smaller meeting, more focused, more productive.
Suram's quote about this was hilarious. He said something like, having too many people at a meeting is like watching paint dry.
So true.
Yeah.
How many meetings have you been in where like half the people could have been anywhere else?
Right.
So ask yourself, is this person essential to achieving the objective? If not, they're probably good.
Okay, so we have our objective. We've invited the right people. What's next?
Manage time effectively. That means a strict start and end time, and you have to stick to it.
Oh, I'm the worst at that.
And Suram suggests building a buffer between meetings.
Genius. I'm always running from one thing to the next.
Yeah, it will change your life. It's about respect, and if things get off track, you have to steer it back to the main goal.
It always happens, too.
Always. Then there are those meetings that just drag on and on with no end in sight. You know what I mean?
Ugh, yes, the worst.
The worst. So that's where E comes in. End with action steps.
That's what separates a good meeting from a soul-sucking one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The last few minutes should be about clear takeaways. Who is doing what? by when.
It's like that saying, meetings are nothing, action is everything.
Right. And Suram actually has some templates for writing down those action steps.
Oh, that's smart.
So you don't walk out of like, wait, what are you doing?
Been there way too many times. Okay, so what about those tougher scenarios? Like, how do you deal with a boss who loves meetings just because?
Suram talks about that, and it's about like subtly influencing them.
Okay.
Remember the T in time.
Target the objective, right?
Right. So if you have a meeting-happy boss, you can kind of steer things by asking, what's the main goal for this meeting? So you're prepared.
I see. It's like a gentle reminder.
Yeah, like, let's make sure our time is used well.
I like that.
Or if the meeting is going off track, you can say, just so we're all good, I thought our main goal was
Right.
you become a facilitator.
Yes.
And sometimes it's about empowering others,
What do you mean?
Suram talks about delegation.
Oh, right.
Like if a colleague is leading a project, maybe they're better suited for certain meetings.
Right. Takes it off your plate, too.
Exactly.
Ah.
Gives them a chance to shine.
Yeah.
We talked about bosses, but what about that colleague who calls a meeting for every single thing?
The worst.
Suram says offer alternatives.
Okay, how do you do that?
Instead of just saying no, try something like, maybe we could just do a quick email chain about this.
Oh, yeah.
Or, I'm free later today, can we connect then?
Right. Good point.
You're flexible, but you have boundaries.
Exactly. And what I really liked is that Suram doesn't just focus on individual strategies. He wants people to become like meeting culture ambassadors.
Love that. It's about changing the whole thing, not just surviving.
Totally. So as we wrap up our deep dive into chronic meetingitis, what's the key takeaway?
Meetings are a tool, not just the default.
Right.
And by being mindful, using these strategies, the time framework, you get your time back, you get more done, and maybe even, dare I say, enjoy meetings a bit more.
That's the dream. It's time to put those calendars on a serious diet, everybody. And listener, we have a little challenge for you this week. Try out just one strategy from Suram's time framework. See how it changes your meetings. You might be surprised. Until next time, happy collaborating. And may your meetings be productive, engaging, and mercifully short.